Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. My name is Ashley, and in a previous video, I showed you how to make the most epic stamp using our laser cutter. Now, I'm well aware that not a lot of crafters have laser cutters, but did you know that you can make really cool stamps by only using your Cricut? And I'm talking the most basic Cricut out there, the Cricut Explore Air 2. Yes, we can make really cool stamps with only using our Cricuts. I'm going to show you how today because I want you to know that our Cricuts do a lot more than just cutting cardstock and HTV and vinyl. So for this project, you're not going to need a whole lot of materials. All you're going to need is a strong grip mat. I would suggest getting a brand new one for this project. If you don't have a brand new strong grip mat, then you are going to need some painter's tape or duct tape just to hold the rubber into place. We are using rubber, friends. Now, a lot of the Cricut hacks that we see about making our own stamps use foam, but today, again, we are going to be using rubber, making real rubber stamps just like this one. For this project, you are going to need a deep blade housing. So this housing right here is very different than the silver housings that come with your Cricut. And the way that you know that this is a deep housing is the blade on your housing is going to be sticking out a lot. You want to make sure that you have this because we need to go as deep as our material. Now for this project, I've purchased some really fancy blocks off Amazon, but if you just have like random blocks at home, you don't have to get fancy with this project. Now, in order to affix our rubber onto our wood stamp, you are going to need a little bit of glue. I'm going to be using Super Tight's Multi-Purpose 360. This right here is the non-toxic version of E6000. Then obviously you're going to need is a little bit of stamp ink. All right, y'all, you ready to make a rubber stamp only using our Cricuts? Let's go to the computer first and do all the design work, and then we will cut this out. Let's go. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is open up a blank window in Cricut Design Space. Now, I would like to note here that you are going to be limited on certain designs that you are going to be able to use for this project. What I would suggest is sticking to the less intricate type of designs. So for today, I'm going to create two different types of stamps, one using a simple shape. So all I'm going to do is click on shapes, and I'm just going to insert a heart. Now you want to resize this heart to fit onto the block that you're using. So for my block, it's 3 inches wide. So I'm going to do 2.75 and press return. And there is my first stamp. So for my second one, I am just going to do a simple letter. So I'm going to go down to text, and I'm going to do the letter P for my son's name. Then what I'm going to do is come up into font, and I'm going to select a font. Now you can use any font that you want to use here. What I would suggest on the font choice is doing something nice and bold. I don't think that doing a thin cursive font is going to work well for your stamp. Once you've chosen the font that you want to use, then all you want to do is click out of it. Now I'm going to resize this to fit onto my block and press return. Now, generally when you create stamps, your image needs to be mirrored. However, I am not going to mirror any of my images today. I will show you why in a little bit when we go to cut this out. So the next thing you want to do is create a custom material setting for cutting our rubber on our Cricuts. What you want to do is come up here to what would be your name. And then you want to click this caret, and there will be a drop-down box that pops up. Next, what you want to do is come over here to settings and click settings, and then you want to go over to machines. The next thing you want to do is come down here to custom material settings and press start. You want to make sure that your machine is turned on and you're connected to your machine, and you just want to select the machine that you're going to be using for this project. Now what I want to do is scroll all the way down to the very bottom of this list, and I'm going to put add new material. Now for this, I'm going to give it a name of rubber stamp, and I'm just going to press save. Then what you want to do is take this little circle, and we're going to go all the way to 350. And then this one right here is how many passes you're going to do. And I am going to click on this, and I'm going to do 6 passes. And then I'm also going to click this, and we are going to be doing the deep point blade. So you want to click that. Okay, when your screen looks like this, then all you want to do is press save. Then all you want to do is scroll all the way down to the very bottom and press done. Now what you want to do is press make. And now let's set up our material onto our mat. Okay, remember what I said, you want to use a brand new high tack Cricut mat. And we're just going to take this off. Next, what we want to do is take our rubber and I'm going to put my rubber in the middle of my mat right here. So we have a little bit of room off everywhere else, and I'm just going to lay my rubber down onto my mat. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a brayer just to give this a really good press down, but it's really not necessary. Then what you want to do is open up your Cricut. Okay, and I am just going to move my housing over to the left out of the way. Now you will notice on your Cricut that you have these white little rollers right here. What you want to do is move them out of the way of your mat. So just like this, and moving this one all the way over to the far left. You just want to make sure that these rollers right here don't touch your material because it will end up ruining your material. Then what you want to do is open up your B housing, take out your standard blade housing, and then we want to insert the deep blade housing. We're going to put that into B and just close our clamp. Okay, then what we want to do is insert our material into our Cricut. You will notice that my white little things are not touching my material. That's very important for this project. Then what we want to do is coming over into design space, you want to select both of these pieces right here or whatever it is that you're going to be using, and you want to put this onto your Cricut mat. So for my material, I'm 2 inches over in, so I want to put my P starting over into my material. Now you want to kind of give this a little bit of breathing room because if you go too close to the outer edge, the blade is going to pick up your material and you won't get a really clean cut. Okay, that looks good. We're inside. We've given ourselves a little bit of breathing room and a border throughout. Then all you want to do is press continue. Now on your Cricut, you want to make sure that your Cricut is turned on, and then you want to take your dial and you want to move it over into the custom setting. When you're over in the custom setting, what you want to do is press browse all materials, and you want to search for your rubber material that you created, and then you just want to click on it and press done. Now what we want to do is take our pressure and we want to go from default to more, and then you just want to press the blinking C button. Okay, and then the reason why we do not want to mirror this is because when we cut out our Cricuts, you can see that there is some nasty edges and they look really gross. Now, if we were to glue it like this onto our block, you would actually see these nasty edges when you go and stamp. So instead, what I want to do is reverse this to where the clean edge is going to be what is visible for our stamp. So you're going to glue the nasty edge to your wood block, and then your stamp will be nice and crisp for your actual stamping project. Same thing like with this heart, you're going to see that the edges are really crusty. Turning this around, we're going to have some nice, clean, crisp lines. Then all you want to do is take some of your glue and then your rubber, and we are just going to put some glue onto our rubber, and then you want to put this onto your wooden block nice and center. Now, if you wanted to get fancy, what you could do is take some HTV or vinyl, cut it out and put it on the top of your wood block just so it would become like a traditional stamp where there is the image shown on the front, or you can keep it just like this. Now what you want to do is wait for your stuff to dry. All right, when your stamps are nice and dry, then all you want to do is take your ink that you have, your stamp ink that you're going to be using, and you just want to stamp onto your pieces of paper. Isn't this so stinking cool? And you only made it with your Cricut. Wasn't this project so easy to make? Now I need to know, did you know before watching this video that you could cut rubber on your Cricut? Did you know? Let me know in the comments of this video. I sure hope that you had a lot of fun making these stamps with me, and I'll see you next time.